Hey, welcome everyone to Movement Yoga Flow. My name is Mark Cormier. I'll be practicing with Kathy Cormier, who will be with us momentarily. We do this on a regular basis, and if you'd like to see us explore any shape or perhaps stretch or strengthen any particular part of the body, feel free to put it in the comment sections. Otherwise, we'll get going. How are you doing, Kathy?
Good, thank you.
Come on up. So just so you know, this is going to be the front of the frame. This is going to be the back of the frame. So those bricks are kind of
Awesome.
your indication as to where to be in space, besides your own inner good sense. All right. Anything you want to work on specifically today, Kathy?
Posture and when you're standing at a standing desk, I think I've just read you're supposed to kind of move around a lot.
Okay.
Like your feet, and you know what I mean? So you don't it gets uncomfortable, because then you'll start to be lazy and stuff, so.
Yeah, I would actually think that just standing in general, you tend not to kind of slip into a stasis just because your legs are working, and so I think when you sit, we tend to definitely move more towards stasis place. So I would think at a standing desk, the problem probably takes care of itself for the most part. Having said that, of course, certainly always feeling free to add a little movement of your own intention.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I could be wrong.
Right.
Anyway, just explore. Just see how you feel at the standing desk. See how it feels vis-a-vis the sitting desk. If you tend to move more naturally, just because you've got your legs involved. And legs are great things. Why I love the standing poses, and why I usually focus on the standing poses. All right, well, let's find those legs. Let's bring hands on hips. We'll just march it side to side. Just waking up your feet. Feel free to bend those knees. Yeah, there you go. If you want to throw a little, Tchaikovsky, the Christmas thing.
Oh.
The Russian dancers.
Oh yeah,
the
I don't
leads
think
out
I
to
can.
the side.
That's
Right,
that's actually after warming up.
Not this morning, okay.
Well, I mean, maybe after warming up. It's kind of like crow or something.
There you go. All right, and then we'll start to dial it in, staying grounded through the feet, rocking it from side to side. And just finding your feet vis-a-vis side to side. Now let's rock it front to back. We can lift the toes and lift the heels. A little bit of a balance challenge here. Whoa. And then staying grounded through the heels, grounded through the toes as we gently rock it side to side. Keep those knees a little bit soft. And then finding your balance vis-a-vis front to back and side to side. So let's keep the feet wide for this first one here. We're going to warm up arms and shoulders. Inhaling arms out to the side and then overhead. Feeling free to keep those arms nice and wide at the top. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Exhaling, hands back down. 2 more times like this. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Maybe the hands get a little closer as those shoulders warm up. Maybe they don't. Breathing in. And breathing out. Now we'll add a forward fold, half sun salve. Inhaling up. Exhaling, keeping those knees soft as we find a forward fold. Take a breath to find length. Hands can cap the knees as we lift chin and tail, arcing the spine. Exhaling, arching the spine. Hands can catch the back of the shins, maybe tractioning yourself a little deeper. Inhaling, moving towards a flat back, hinging at the hips, leading with the back of the heart, arms out to the side and then overhead. Exhaling, standing tall. 2 more times like that. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, folding. Take a breath to find length. Keeping that length as you fold again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Now that's good to go sideways, Kathy. And again, this brick right here is going to be the front of your mat, so feel free to come all the way forward. You might even go a little bit past that, just so you know.
That's too far front.
All right, I'll let you be the master on that. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then rounding the spine as you ground on down. I will not cue vinyasa as you find your down dog, stepping 1 foot back and then the other. As we hold this first down dog of this practice, I'll invite you to walk your dog as you bend one leg deeply and then the other, grounding down to the opposite heel. Stretching it out, seeing how your body feels this morning. What feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. From this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards relative stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. Despite the lack of overt movement, you're still breathing, your heart's still beating, your mind's still moving. And by focusing on the flow of your breath, finding a little more space between each breath, each beat of the heart, each thought, and breathing into that space. On the tail end of a breath, I'll invite you to bend your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone a little bit higher, feeling a little more space in the low back. And then looking between the hands as you mindfully make your way to the front of your mat. When you arrive, take a breath to create length. Hands can cap the knees as we arc. On the exhale, arching the spine as we fold again. Inhaling, finding your flat back, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. Second one just like the first, except this time I will cue vinyasa. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to create length. Keeping that length as we fold and ground down. Now keep your elbows soft here as you find your push-up. Yeah, don't lock the elbows. Feel free to use the knees or not. Inhaling into a back bend. If the hips stay down, it's a cobra pose. If you lift the hips up, it becomes an up dog. And then rolling over the toes and either finding your down dog or maybe choosing all fours or maybe choosing a child's pose. Wherever you choose to work, breathing, watching that breath and enjoying that reflection upon your breath. Yeah, and you can either hold it in relative stasis, although there's still a lot going on, or maybe adding a little movement, a little micro movement, a little bend, a little swing, a little sway. Again, just connecting with your body. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding again. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling. Standing tall, hands by your side. Let's do one more sunset A, and let's throw a plank pose into the mix. And we'll just do a simple plank today. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to create length. Hands can cap the knees as you arc the back. Yeah, feel that dip. And then arching the spine as you catch the back of the shins and traction yourself deeper. Now grounding down through your hands, elbows stay soft as you find your push-up, flowing through the motion. Inhaling into your back bend, cobra or up dog. And then back to your down dog as you will. So feeling free to hold your down dog, feeling free to find a child's pose if you want to generate a little more tapas or heat. And I'll ask you to do this, Kathy, just a demo. As you inhale forward to plank, and let's just hold this plank for a few breaths. Feeling that connection between your head, your hips, and your heels. So that's good posture. Even though you're not standing up straight, you're feeling that alignment between all parts of the body. And even when you stand up straight, although in this position you certainly have to work that core a lot more, even when you stand up straight, you want to feel some core engagement just to keep that good posture and to support our spine. Now let's do one more long, smooth breath in. And on the tail end of the next exhale, navel to spine as you lift the hips high, coming back to your down dog and holding for another couple of breaths. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail end of that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take that frog jump front. Take a breath to find length, opening up the heart. Exhaling, rounding the spine as you fold. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, standing tall. I'll ask you to stay sideways. Traditional second warm-up exercise, Sun Sal B, flow style. Inhaling into a chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower, finding more strength in your legs. On the inhale, rising on up, engaging the glutes to support a little back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over, leading with the heart. Take a breath to arc the back, still leading with the heart. On the exhale, rounding the spine as you traction yourself deeper. And then grounding down through those hands and making your way back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back, yogi's choice. And you can take your time, find your flow, follow your breath. From down dog, flow style. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky. Wait for it. Looking between the hands, pitching that leg even higher. And then sweeping that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then riding your exhale back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. As you flow through the sequence, I'm going to crack this window just a tad. A little more ambient noise, but it'll feel a little more comfortable in here, I think. From down dog, second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Looking between the hands, pitching that leg even higher. And then sweeping that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then wait, keep the back heel down. Now exhaling, you're going to come back down. And I'd actually say you want to wait until your hands are down before you spin the heel up. And that might be a little safer, I'm not sure. And now spin the heel up. And now back to down dog. I don't know if that feels better or worse. Or
It feels more funny on my left.
what's
hip.
funnier? Okay.
On my left
Keep
hip.
doing what you're doing then.
But I can try it for tomorrow.
I'm just saying, with two hands down, you can have a little more support for the spin of the
Oh, I
heel.
hear what you're saying. I'll try it that way.
That could be a conceptual thing and totally invalid in terms of your body sensation.
But it's interesting though, and I've been trying to notice body sensations versus what it actually looks like and adjusting, so.
And that's awesome. Yeah, that's where a big part of where I'm trying to go. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands and either stepping or frog jumping front. Awesome. Take a breath to find length. Keeping that length as you fold again. On the inhale, riding the breath up, finding your chair pose, knees over toes, stay low. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, neutral spine as you stand tall. Let's throw a dragon dog into the mix. Inhaling into your chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length as you arc. Exhaling, arching the spine as you ground on down. And make your way back to down dog as you will. And again, take your time. Welcome, Matthew. Welcome, Josephine. All right. Hello, Josephine. Welcome, David. Josephine's our daughter.
Hi, Josephine.
Watching from Lake Tahoe. All right. Are you ready for the dragon dog?
Uh-huh.
Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky. On an exhale, knee to nose, nose to knee, shoulders over wrists, and then back up. 2 more times. Exhale it forward, keeping the knees centered. Inhale it up. The sternum will hold before we step the foot front. Exhaling. Inhale and hold. And on that next exhale, navel to spine to support the action as we step that foot as far front as we can. Spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead. Inhaling. And then riding your exhale back to low lunge. Okay, that might be a good way to do it too. It's just, I think, muddying the transition. Like here, yeah, there. Now if you spin the heel up with the strength of the arms, yeah, see how it works?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, okay, anyway, so let's move on. So you wind your low lunge and then back to down dog as you will, as you work through the action. So I think 2 ways to do it would be to spin the back heel up while the arms are still lifted and you're kind of metaphorically pinned to the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Or waiting till your hands get down and then spinning the heel up. And I think in the middle there's a lot going on there.
I see. I'll try it next
You
time.
want to make sure you one action at a time, generally.
Sure.
Big toes touch, heels slightly apart, left leg high to the sky. On an exhale, knee to nose, nose to knee, shoulders over wrists. And inhale it up 2 more times. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. Now you're going to hold before you step the foot front. Exhale it front. Inhale and hold. And on that next exhale, navel to spine to support the action as we step that foot front, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. And then riding the exhale, so you might try spinning that heel up right now, or not. And you come all the way down. Now the heel spins up, and then back to down dog as you will. So again, I'll let you play with it a little bit.
No worries, all good.
Yeah, I'm just offering the suggestion. Generally, we want to be careful how we work with our ankles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Keeping the joints in one line tends to work good for many joints in many situations, but of course not all situations and not all joints. As we hold down dog, coming back to Samarvriti, same breath, long smooth breaths in. Equally long smooth breaths out. Long smooth breath in. Equally long smooth breath out. On the tail end of that breath, bending your knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher, and then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump from. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. On the inhale, stay low, finding that chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine, hands by your side. Let's do one more sun sal B, and we'll throw a twist into our dragon dog. Inhaling into a chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. There you go. Big swan dive over. Inhaling, finding length. Keeping that length as you fold. And make your way back to down dog as you will. Take your time. Awesome, beautiful. Shoulder blades back and down. Nice, nice, nice. And then back to your down dog. Are you ready for dragon dog with a twist?
Sure.
All right, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high on the left toes. You're going to bring right knee towards right elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not, and then back up. Now bringing right to left, maybe give it a tap, much harder recipe here, and then back up. You don't have to do that. Now bringing that knee center and holding before we step the foot front. Inhale. And on that next exhale, with that abdominal engagement on the exhalation, stepping the foot front as we spin the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead. And from here, riding the breath back to low lunge. And then from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Nice, beautiful. Awesome. All right, you ready for that second side?
Sure.
Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Now bringing left knee to left elbow, maybe give it a tap, maybe not, and then back up. Now finding your twist, left to right, maybe tap it, maybe not, it's a hard proposition, and then back up. Now holding that knee center, breath in, and then on that next exhale, getting that foot as far front as you can as you spin the back heel down, arms out to the side and then overhead, inhaling, and then riding the exhale back to low lunge, and from low lunge back to down dog as you will. Take your time, find your flow, follow your breath. And if I haven't welcomed you, David, I'm welcoming you again. Hello, David. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your breath flows in and as your breath flows out. from down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a frog jump. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Exhaling, fold. On the inhale, stay low, finding your chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll ask you to face camera, Kathy, as you bring hands to heart. A light press of your thumb against your sternum as you line up each finger. Relax shoulders, a soft tuck of the chin. Coming back to a place of just watching as your breath flows in and as your breath flows out. Lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by your side. If the feet aren't already hip width apart, I'll invite you to get them there. Kathy's grabbing some water here. You can either step or jump those feet hip width apart. From here, knees a lot soft. We're going to work with our fire breath. Short, sharp exhalations out through the nose. As we inhale, the arms up in front. On the exhale, casting the hands back as we bend the knees and crouch. 8 times. We're halfway done. 2 more to go. The last one. And then back up and either stepping or jumping those feet in. Nice jump. I'll ask you to go sideways, sun, south, sea, and again, the top of your frame's way up here. Inhaling into your chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, back bend at the top. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to create length. Hands can cap the knees as we arc. Exhaling, tractioning yourself deeper, and then grounding down through the hands and making your way back to down dog as you will. Yeah, flowing with your breath, just feeling your body. So this time, we're going to play with a hip opener on our 3-legged dog. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky, high in the left toes. Now keeping that right shoulder grounded as best you can, twisting from the ribs, lifted leg straight as you stack your hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip with the weight of the bent leg. Now looking between the hands, wait for it. You're going to pitch that knee even higher. And then sweeping that right foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side, and then overhead for warrior 1. From here, bringing hands back to the hips. So if you're already long, you're going to stay long. Otherwise, you're going to lengthen your stance as you shift weight onto the front foot and scoot that back foot back. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. Now hands find the shoulders, steering the heart front. Warming up our shoulders as we roll one shoulder front and then the other. Upper back. You might have a little twist in the hips. Not too much twist though. You want to keep that sacroiliac joint relatively stable, and then taking those asymmetrical circles the other way. And then back to center, settling the shoulders back and down onto the ribs. Now finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat, elbows wide to the side. Keeping all this, finding a tray in front. Breathing in as we gather energy into our center of balance. On the exhale, circling the hands around. So cactus arms, we'll do this 6 times. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding. The elbows move back, the hands come with, and I'll invite you to ripple those fingers as we keep our hands supple. Moving towards the baby dancer. Hands find the hips. We soften the front knee as we spin the back heel up. Either one big step or a couple of steps in. Starting to balance on our right foot, the knee stays soft as we find our flamingo. Either hanging here or reaching down to catch that foot. And then lining up the knees. Either staying here or stretching right hand high. Either staying here or starting to kick the foot into the hand as we pitch the body forward. Either looking down or past those fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. Awesome. From a pitch forward position, we'll come back upright. Right hand finds the hip as we sweep left thigh high. Two hands find two hips back to the flamingo. Either staying here or without dropping the thigh as we lengthen through that leg. Lean a little bit forward. You want to take it, you want to use your stomach, not your low back. Soft point to the toe. From here, we flex the foot as we sweep it on through, finding warrior one with our hands on our hips. Using our hands to turn warrior one hips into warrior two hips as we steer the hips sideways. I'll invite you to kick the back foot in for a slightly narrower stance. And then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, painting rainbows, straightening the front leg without locking the knee, inhaling. Exhaling warrior two. We'll do 6 of these. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 1. Holding that reverse warrior. Reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib with every breath. And spreading our fingers wide, mimicking our ribs, finding more space in our hands. Turning the reverse warrior back into warrior two. Now finding your rainbow warrior, you might choose a strap or a towel, otherwise a clasp of the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades back and down onto the ribs initially, and then open heart, open throat as you take a deep forward fold inside the front leg. When you find your forward fold, relax neck, heavy head, and then letting those shoulders slide off the ribs and down towards the floor. As we hold the rainbow warrior, I'll invite you to add a little swing, a little sway, inviting any tension in your neck and shoulders to drain down through the crown of the head into the earth. Now in our rainbow warrior, I'll suggest a strong tuck of the chin as we stretch out the back of our neck, bringing it on up. Coming back to our warrior two. Transitioning to our triangle, thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip and base of rib. Take the time. You want to deepen that crease. You want to lengthen those ribs. And then keeping a little spring in that knee as you ground bottom hand down, either thumb in line with shin bone as you wrap the calf, or you might bring a brick or bricks outside the calf. Choose the bricks, feeling that physical connection between the bricks and the calf. Does that feel solid and stable? Good. Okay. The top hand can rotate the ribs, opening up shoulder, now stretching hand high to the sky. As we hold this shape, with every breath in, our diaphragm stretches down towards our navel, this front navel, back navel, side navel, gathering energy in a big ball of energy in the very center of yourself. Every time we breathe out, our diaphragm relaxes and domes up to the heart. The air moves out of our lungs on that impetus, connecting with the pulsation of the breath as you make yourself bigger in the shape from the inside out. From here, moving towards the half moon. Top hand finds the hip. We can soften the front knee for a big step in or a couple of steps in. Take your time, setting your base, right hand off to the right. If you want to adjust, feel free. I want you to feel safe in the shape. Starting to pour weight into hand and foot as back foot gets light. We can use that top hand to rotate the ribs, opening up shoulder, stretching hand high to the sky. Either keeping a long back leg or bending the back leg to catch the foot. You can do that from high, you could do that from low if you choose to do that. Are you choosing to do that, Kathy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
Moving to Ardha Chakrasana, if you choose, yeah.
I was fascinated by the flags.
Very interesting.
Like there was a Ukraine flag there, and now there's a Giants flag.
Okay. As we hold the foot, you want to deepen back heart any amount, finding your balance. Beautiful. From a bound back leg, finding a long back leg. Hand finds the hip as we soften the front knee for a big step back. Take your time. Shifting weight into feet as we come back to our warrior two. And from warrior two. A big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders for low lunge. and from low lunge. Back to down dog as you will. Take your time, find your foot. Well, the warrior's flag is the same color as the Ukrainian
There
flag.
we go. Pretty close.
There you go. So, did the Warriors win last night?
I don't know. You'll have to ask your
My
audience.
guess is they did, yeah, because they're awesome. All right, so we've got a second side to do.
Yes.
I want to give people a chance to take a break, grab some water. Otherwise, I'm going to cue a plank pose, and we'll hold that for a few breaths. Are you up for a plank?
Sure.
All right, so inhaling forward to your plank, and we're going to hold it for say 5 or 6 long, slow breaths. Feeling that connection between your head, your hips, and your heels. Again, good posture here. So a nice way to work the breath is on the inhale, keeping the belly soft, so there's lots of room for that breath to move down. But on the exhale, navel to spine, and as you find that abdominal engagement that helps support the spine.
It's harder that way.
It's harder that way, it is. But definitely, I think a lot of us hold tension in our belly, so if you can at least release that tension on the inhale, it's a good thing. One more long, smooth breath in. A equally long, smooth breath out. And the tail end of that breath, navel to spine as you lift the hips high. And getting ready for the second side. You want to sneak in a child's pose or you're good to go?
I'm okay, thanks.
All right, so we're going to work that same hip opener. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high in the right toes. Keeping that left shoulder anchored as best you can. Twisting from the ribs, lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. Wait for it. Looking between the hands, you're going to pitch that knee even higher. And then sweeping that left foot through, spinning the back heel down, arms out to the side. And then overhead for our Warrior One. In Warrior One, I'll invite you to bring hands back to the hips. If you're as long as you're going to get, you're going to stay right there. Otherwise, shifting weight onto the front foot to lengthen your stance as you scoot that back foot back. With our hands on our hips, we can steer our hips front. Now hands find the shoulders, steering heart front. Now warming up our back with those asymmetrical shoulder rolls, maybe starting with the shoulders and then adding the scapula. Maybe adding a loose side waist, but try to keep the hips relatively stable, keeping our low back a little safer. And then taking those asymmetrical shoulder rolls the other way. Coming back center, settling those shoulders onto the ribs. Switching the clasp of the fingers behind the back of the head. Pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. Elbows wide to the side. And then keeping that as we find a tray in front, straightening the front leg without locking the knee as we draw energy into our center of balance, 3 fingers below the navel. On the exhale, circling the hands around. We'll do 6 of these, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We're halfway done, breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, breathing in. Breathing out and holding. The elbows move back, the hands come with, rippling those fingers, keeping our hands supple and enjoying the stretch. Now moving towards baby dancer vis-a-vis the flamingo. Hands find the hips as we spin that back heel up. Either one big step or a couple of steps in. Starting to prepare to balance on that left foot. The knee stays soft as we lift right knee high. This is your flamingo. Either staying here or reaching down to catch that foot once we have the foot lining up the knees. Either staying here or stretching left hand high. Either staying here or starting to pitch the body forward as we kick the foot into the hand to deepen back heart. Either looking down to the ground or past those fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. Nice. From a pitched forward position, we can pitch it back up. Left hand finds left hip as we swing right thigh high. 2 hands find 2 hips. Now lean a little bit forward here. You want to work the stomach, not the low back. As we lengthen through that leg with a soft point to the toe. Nice, beautiful. Now lifting that leg just a tad higher. And then flexing the foot as you sweep it on through, finding warrior one with your hands on your hips. With your hands on your hips, we can steer warrior one hips into warrior two hips. And then finding one long arm, looking out past those front fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, painting rainbows, breathing in and breathing out, warrior two, 6 times. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. We're halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1, holding that reverse warrior, reaching up higher, reaching down further, finding more space between each rib as you breathe, and spreading your fingers wide, finding more space in your hands, and breathing into all that space from the inside out. Turning the reverse warrior back into warrior two. Finding your rainbow warrior, strapped tall, otherwise walking the fingers one over, shoulder blades back and down, initially open heart, open throat, and then leading with the heart as you take a deep dive inside the front leg. Take your time. Once you've found your deep dive, relax neck, heavy head, and letting those shoulders slide off the ribs and down towards the floor. As we hold the rainbow warrior, I'll invite you to add a little swing, a little sway, inviting any tension in your neck and shoulders to drain down through the crown of the head into the earth. The earth has plenty of space for that tension. We don't need it in our neck and shoulders. Now in our rainbow warrior, I'll suggest a strong tuck of the chin as you bring it on up, stretching out the back of your neck, coming back to your warrior two. Transitioning to the triangle, thumb and forefinger finds crease of hip, wait for it, now find that, and now deepen and lengthen, beautiful. Grounding bottom hand down, keeping a little bit of spring in that knee, thumb in line with shin bone as you wrap the calf. Another beautiful option is to grab some bricks, and if you use the bricks, feeling that physical connection, that's going to help you feel a little safer in the shape. We can use that top hand to rotate our ribs, open up shoulder, and then stretching that hand high to the sky. And again, any shape you're in, the diaphragm always does its thing. As you breathe in, the air moves into your lungs as the diaphragm draws down towards the navel. Every time you breathe out, the diaphragm relaxes and domes up to the heart as the air moves out of our lungs. On that impetus, sending more space into the universe from the very center of yourself. From our triangle, moving towards the triangle in 1 foot, take your time. Hand finds the hip, we're going to soften the front knee, either one big step or a couple of steps in. As we move towards our half moon, finding your base, don't rush at all. Anytime you rush into a balance, it usually does not have good effects. So take your time. Once you have the foundation, we can use that top hand to rotate our ribs. Now, okay, so take your time. Find your base.
Out of the camera
Make sure you're
completely.
I think you're good.
I was even my shoulders were out, so no one could see them.
So we got ribs, we got shoulder, we got hand high to the sky, and there's no flags to distract us on this side. When you're ready, I'll ask you to bind the moon, Ardha Chandra Chapasana. As you bend the leg, you can do it high, you can do it low, you can do it somewhere between the two. And then once you have the foot, kicking the foot into the hand as we deepen that heart. Beautiful. And for some of us, this actually becomes a more stable shape. Beautiful. From here, releasing the back foot. Take your time. Hand finds the hip. We soften the front knee for a big step back. No big deal. We'll shift the weight into the feet as we come back to our warrior two. And from warrior two, a big windmill of the arms as you stretch out your shoulders. And from there, from that low lunge, back to down dog as you will. Take your time, find your flow. Welcome, Karen. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Equally long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, bending the knees ever so slightly as you lift the tailbone just a little bit higher. And then looking between the hands as you either step or take a jump to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you're right. Keeping that length as we fold again. On the inhale, finding your chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. Back bend at the top, the city lights gesture, the big YMCA. And then exhaling, hands by your side. I'll ask you to face camera. Hands find the heart. This time adding an isometric engagement as we press the palms together, elbows wide, a tuck of the tail, a tuck of the chin, connecting with the strength of our center. And then lifting the chin tall through the crown, hands by our side. So let's play. Feel free to do this with me. Ears over shoulders, ears and shoulders over hips, ears, shoulders, hips over heels as we stand tall. If your feet aren't hip width apart, we'll get them there. If they are, stay right there. We'll work another fire breath session here. As we keep the knees soft, we're going to inhale arms up to one side. On the exhale, passing the hands through center. I'll invite you to give those wrists a flick. And other side. Let's do 8. Couple more each way. One more each side. And then back up. And either stepping or jumping your feet in. And again, they don't have to be right together. Find a place that works for your feet, your foundation. From here, let me go on camera just so we stay on the same page here. We are going to cross left foot over right. Now I know Facebook reverses things, so that's why I want to be very deliberate here in our studio. From this place, I'll come off camera now. Arms out to the side and then overhead.
Your hand's in the camera.
It is, which is okay.
It's cute.
It's cute. Yeah, there we go. We find a forward fold. Take a breath to create length with crossed legs. And then folding again. Now if your hands find the floor, awesome. You could always grab a brick or two to raise the floor. And I'll suggest definitely ground down on something if you want the bricks to there. If you don't, no worries.
Thank you.
As we circle our hips, any amount. Chasing away any congestion, any stiffness. Inviting in more prana, more life force, more vitality. And then taking those circles the other way. Now coming back center, I'll invite you to establish your neutral spine as you bring hands to hips, lining up the back of the head in line with your sacrum. And then keeping neutral spine leading with the back of the heart, hinging on up. When we get to this place, let's unwind the legs, hands find the hips as we come back to our flamingo. And either staying here or leaning a little bit forward without dropping the thigh as we lengthen through that leg. Either keeping hands on hips or hands find the heart. Either hands find the heart or we stretch those hands high. High hands come back to the heart. Heart hands become hip hands. We can land that knee, or we can land that foot softly right next to the other foot. Yeah, just find your stand, and then give it a rock side to side, keeping it loose. Awesome. From here, let's cross right foot over left. I'll get out of camera here. Arms out to the side and then overhead, inhaling. Exhaling, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back. And then arching the spine as we fold and hold. Relax neck, heavy head, letting those shoulders slide down towards the floor. And either staying, not either staying here, I'll invite you to circle those hips, inviting more life force, more prana into the nooks and crannies of our hips. And then taking those circles the other way. Now coming back center, we're going to establish neutral spine as we bring hands to hips, lining up the back of the head with the sacrum. And usually, for some reason, like, you may want to just look, I think hips more like this, Kathy, as opposed to that, like that. Yeah. A little different feel. Now you want to keep your neutral spine leading with the back of the heart, hinging at the hips as you come on up. Yeah, it's actually, I do this. See the difference? Mm-hmm. Does that feel?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks a little more easeful. a little more support. Up to you. Unwinding the legs as we lift that leg high for our flamingo. From here, leaning a little bit forward as we lengthen through that leg. Lifting that leg a little higher. Hip hands become heart hands. Heart hands become high hands. Either looking down, off to the horizon, or maybe lifting your face to look up to the sky, depending on your balance. High hands become heart hands. Heart hands become hip hands. And then we're going to land that leg light. We can bend the knee and then land the leg lightly as we find Arjadasana or standing and just rocking it from side to side. I'll ask you to go sideways calf. We're making our way to the floor. We'll get there with a sun sal. Sun sal A, keeping it simple. Inhaling, arms out to the side and then overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to arc the back and then arching the spine as you ground on down and making your way back to down dog as you will. Again, take your time. Last chance to do vinyasa this morning. At least in this session. And then from down dog. I'll invite you to land the knees lightly, finding a child's pose, the arms in extension, walking those arms forward as you heavy the forehead on through, and then letting the elbows relax. As we hold the shape, I'll invite you to gently rock your child's pose from side to side, stretching it out, stretching out your hips, releasing your low back. And then bringing everything back center, keeping hips and heels just as they are. I'll invite you to find a side bend as you walk your hands to one side. Stretching far hip to far heel. Now walking hands through center and finding that second side, stretching other hip to other heel. Bringing hands back center, walking the hands in. I'll invite you to bring your feet off to one side and coming down onto your back as you will. Either plopping right down or a long, slow roll down, your choice. From the long, slow roll down, taking your time, laying each vertebrae down as if you're laying pearls onto a cushion. When you get down, if you have room, finding a full body stretch. I think there's a chessboard in your way, but be careful. And then from that full body stretch, finding your Shavasana. Arms out to the side, take your time, make yourself comfortable. We won't be here too long. As we hold the shape, tip of your tongue neutral in your mouth, a slight part to your lips. Still breathing in and out through your nose. Time always races in these sessions. Feel free to stay at home in your Shavasana. For the purposes of this studio, I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. Welcome, Cam. Moving your mind before you move your body. Bringing your attention back to your breath, watching as it flows in and out. Like watching a river as that river flows by. From a place of just watching your breath, I invite you to shape your breath, finding a long, slow inhalation, followed by an even longer, slower exhalation. Finding a more relaxing breath with longer, slower exhalations. Keeping this more relaxing breath, inviting more prana, more life force into your body as you gently ripple fingers and toes. Inviting that prana in towards center as we gently circle our wrists and our ankles. Adding a little shimmer of the shoulders, a little shimmy of the hips, whatever feels right and good for you. Connecting with your own innate sense of well-being. Now pressing your back into the mat to recruit your core and to support the action of the legs. As we draw one knee into the heart, the other knee follows. Hands cap the knees. Using your thighs to gently massage your low belly as you gently lift and lower the low back and hips, front to back, side to side, little circles, whatever feels right and good for you. Now reaching back with a hand to lift and tuck the chin, keeping the neck relaxed. Chin stays tucked, the hand comes back to the shin, so 2 hands, 2 shins. You could also catch the back of the thighs as you start to rock yourself forward to back to front, massaging your spine. Might do it one more time. And then a little momentum, a little core engagement as you rock on up and claim a cross-legged sit. As we sit, grounded down through sits bones, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees, pulling back with your hands to settle your shoulders. Long through all sides of the neck with a soft tuck of the chin. I'll invite you to bring one hand onto the heart, the other hand on top. Ending our practice listening and feeling as our breath flows in and as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bow as you thank yourself for practicing yoga, and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. The light within us honors and respects the light within you. And in this light, we are one. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Kathy, for practicing with me. Thank you at home for practicing with us. And as always, not the ultimate dad joke, but certainly a dad joke. Namaste sounds so much like have a nice day.
Nice
And
day.
we'll see you all real soon.
Love you.